How school districts are in need of more money, and you could be footing the bill. Why it's using referendums for some of the most basic expenses.
Plus, gas prices are going back up, the reason why and how long we can expect to see that increase.
And Wisconsin Assembly Speaker Robin Vos fighting a subpoena from the January 6th committee. Why it wants him to testify and what Vos is doing in response. Welcome to News 3 Now. You already pay taxes to keep schools open, teachers employed, and children learning. After this fall, you may be paying a lot more.
And this year, we found the highest number of school districts in the last decade are seeking extra help from their communities by way of referendum for the most basic budget needs. Naomi Coles has the analysis. Naomi?
Traditionally, it's been rare that schools needed to go to referendum in order to fund basic budget expenses. Referendum are usually for maintenance projects, new buildings, and extra services, but now times are shifting.
Awesome. Go back and see if you can add even more.
At Verona's Sugar Creek Elementary, teachers are still waiting on a raise to match inflation, waiting in this case on voters.
It's going to pay for us continuing to be able to do business and continue to stay competitive.
The Verona Area School District is one of 9 in Dane County going to referendum this fall, asking their communities for more funding.
In the last two-year budget cycle, we got $0 new per student. And that's the money most school districts use to budget for recurring expenses into the future.
Verona Deputy Superintendent Chad Weezy is talking about the budget passed by the state legislature, which cited millions in one-time federal COVID funds as a reason not to bump up school funding. Weezy says you can't pay people into the future with money that runs out in a couple years.
A combination of no new money that is recurring from our state and sky-high inflation, and kind of layer on a really difficult labor market in terms of finding highly qualified educators to work in our schools.
I crunched the numbers. Counting the spring and fall elections this year, we are seeing the highest number of school referendums for basic budget expenses this year than we've seen in a decade.
This legislature is sitting on a surplus.
State Superintendent Jill Underly called out the legislature on this very issue last week in her State of Education speech.
If the legislature spent just 1/6 of the current taxpayer-funded budget surplus on schools, it could make such a difference.
For a breakdown of which school districts are going to referendum this fall and which ones are doing it for budget expenses versus new capital projects, you can head online right now to channel3000.com.
Naomi, thank you. Let's check your certified most accurate forecast. Here's Chief Meteorologist Gary Canalti. Gary?
It's cool on the patio right now, and temperatures will turn downright cold in parts of our viewing area overnight. Let's start out by taking a look at a frost advisory that's been issued from 2 a.m. until 9 a.m. tomorrow morning for Juneau County, north of Wisconsin Dells, as well as much of central and west central Wisconsin. Visible cloud track shows clouds building up during late morning and early afternoon hours, but now those clouds are starting to break up, and with generally clear skies expected overnight, those temperatures will fall off pretty rapidly. Those clouds really didn't bring any precipitation other than a few light sprinkles over northeastern Wisconsin. Not expecting any rain for quite a while anyway. Current temperatures are down into the upper 50s in Madison. We're at 57 degrees. Prairie du Chien still hanging on at 62, and Platteville at 60, but across Dane County, we're seeing temperatures already down to 55 in Cross Plains and Waunakee, and 57 degrees in Oregon. Look for skies to become mostly clear by late evening. Otherwise, it'll be partly cloudy through the evening hours with temperatures dropping into the upper 40s. Later on tonight, we'll see those temperatures drop off even more. It'll be even colder for the next couple of nights. I'll tell you how cold it'll get in just a few minutes.
So just when we thought gas prices were sliding in the right direction, another disaster sent them surging. It's a big spike, adding insult to injury, but this surge may not last as long as the one we saw this summer. Andrew Banstra is live in Madison this evening, having found out what's causing this trouble. Andrew.
After gas prices fell for an unprecedented 14 straight weeks, both nationally and here at home, the average U.S. gas gallon went up 1.4 cents this week. But here at home, the gas prices are skyrocketing.
At a countywide average of $3.81 for a gallon of unleaded.
Definitely increased my living expenses. You know, I can't have money stashed away. I'm a student too, so, you know, it's kind of stressing me and focusing me away from my studies.
Safwan Takar dreaded seeing the soaring gas prices as temperatures start to fall.
The American dream is kind of a little harder now.
In Madison, prices went up 7 cents in the last day, while Wisconsin is seeing the second largest week-long increase in the entire country, according to AAA.
We've seen about a 45-cent jump week over week on our average here in the Madison market. That's a little higher than even the statewide jump.
So that's the reality. But what's to blame?
Largely due to a refinery incident in Toledo, Ohio last week. There was a fire that knocked the entire refinery offline. It's still going to be offline for most of this week.
So that means Wisconsin gas suppliers are turning to other refineries, often farther away.
So that adds additional layers of expense in terms of distribution and logistics, and that gets passed along to the consumers.
Despite the rising costs, AAA suggests you don't push your gas tank to the limits, fueling up with what you need when you need it.
I would anticipate that once these refinery issues are resolved, we'll see our prices here in Wisconsin begin to level back off and come back closer to what the national average is.
AAA expects that the refinery will be back online either later this week or early next week. But at the same time, you could still see those prices surpass that $4 mark like we saw earlier this summer before they come back down. Live in Madison, Andrew Banstra, News 3 Now.
2 men sentenced for their roles in the shooting that killed 11-year-old Anisa Scott are seeking lighter punishments. Andre Brown was sentenced to 35 years in prison, while Perion Carrion was sentenced to 30 years. According to online court filings from both defendants, they've since filed notices of intent to pursue post-conviction relief. A third defendant in the case, Jerry Ward, is set to stand trial in early November for his role in Scott's death. A man who Madison police said was traveling with a teen who was reported missing last week is now in custody. Paul Williams III was arrested on Friday on Madison's south side. Police say he was traveling with 17-year-old Lanaya Hampton when she was reported missing Thursday. An Amber Alert was issued for Hampton, and she was later found safe. Williams faces charges stemming from the outstanding warrants and new charges after controlled substances were allegedly found during his arrest.
And Madison police say they arrested a teenager over the weekend who had a stolen gun. Officers were sent to the 5700 block of Raymond Road about 6:10 p.m. Sunday. Caller reported that a man was chasing another man with a gun. Officers located a group of people on Russet Road, and a few of the people matched the suspect's description. 2 officers chased after a person later identified as a 15-year-old who they believed was the likely suspect. During the arrest, officers allegedly found a loaded .40 caliber gun on the teen. The gun had been reported stolen. The teen was taken to juvenile reception and now faces multiple charges. Police say he is not believed to be the original suspect reported by the caller.
You may not need to wear a mask at UW Health soon. That is after the CDC updated its guidance on masking today. It allows hospitals and nursing homes to drop mask requirements unless they are in an area of high COVID transmission. Well, this could spell the end of mandatory masking at UW Health for the first time in 2 years. Dr. Jeff Pothoff says we'll have to wait for at least another 2 weeks.
If we can see some stabilization of that trend to, moderate or low, then we could consider rolling these things back, being relatively assured that we wouldn't suddenly go back up again, at least not, within the next couple of weeks.
Pothoff could not give a firm time frame for when cases will stabilize.
SSM Health opening a treatment center in Fond du Lac County. It's called the Day Stabilization Unit. The center is for those who don't qualify for inpatient care but are in need of immediate support. SSM renovated an OBGYN wing in the Ripon Hospital for that new space. Once it's built, the center will be open 24 hours a day. 8 patients between the ages of 16 and 60 will share the space for no more than 23 hours. Even though patients can't stay the whole day, SSM healthcare providers expect the unit will have a positive impact. Well, the committee investigating the January 6th riots wants to talk with Assembly Speaker Robin Vos. They issued a subpoena for the speaker to sit down for an interview this morning, but Speaker Vos was able to postpone his deposition. Political reporter Will Keneally has more on what the committee was looking for here. Will?
So the subpoena stems from what the committee wants to know more about a phone call that took place between Vos and Donald Trump earlier this year. In that call, the former president urged Vos to do more to decertify the 2020 presidential election results in Wisconsin, something that the speaker has repeatedly said is not possible. Vos said he got the subpoena on Saturday and was expected to appear before the committee this morning. But after he filed the lawsuit this weekend, Vos was able to get his deposition delayed. So in a statement today, Vos says that he should be free from the subpoenas because he's acting in his official duty. He said in that statement, quote, "We intend to go to court to fight for the immunity given to state leaders under these circumstances." And as it stands, the subpoena is still active, just that the interview has been postponed.
Coming up, the Wisconsin Department of Transportation is looking to improve freight railways around the state.
And a group of fourth graders helping out their area Humane Society with a big donation. Find out if they were able to raise that money. That's just ahead.
At a company, the culture comes from the top. Tim Michaels' company has been sued numerous times over sexual assault and harassment in the workplace. Women who worked for Michaels' company said they were groped, assaulted, and pressured to have sex with their bosses. Higher-ups at Michaels dismissed the women as liars and even fired those who spoke out. Is that what we need for Wisconsin? Tim Michaels, too radical, too divisive.
The more you buy, the more you save during Steinhaffel's Buy More, Save More sale. Start with store-wide savings of 35% or more, and then take an extra $100 off $19.99, $200 off $29.99, or $300 off your purchase of $39.99 or more. Mattresses, sofas, dining, bedrooms, and more. The more you buy, the more you're gonna save. So shop today in-store or online. Relax, it's Steinhaffel's.
Welcome. We're so glad you're here. Looking for one of our most capable Ford SUVs? Okay, great. We've got you covered. Spacious interiors, innovative tech, good looks, and a legendary off-road experience. Check out our inventory today, or let us help you place a custom order. Getting into the perfect Ford SUV? Well, it's easier than ever. Yeah, we've got you covered. Now choose FlexBuy on a 2022 Ford Escape, Edge, or Explorer and get 0% financing for 66 months.
You can get your smile back today. At Affordable Dentures and Implants, we make high-quality tooth replacement affordable for everyone. So whether it's a single tooth, full dentures, or life-changing dental implants, we have an experienced dentist who can help you go ahead and smile. Click or call to schedule your new smile consultation today.
Go ahead and smile.
You're watching News 3 Now at 6.
And welcome back. There's still time to donate to our Coats for Kids campaign. So far, we collected 2,164 winter coats. From now until October 8th, you can donate a gently used kids winter coat to any area Clinky Cleaners location. Coat sizes can range from infant snowsuits all the way up through teen sizes. You can also buy a coat from the campaign's Amazon wish list, and we have a link to that at channel3000.com. Finally, the Community Action Coalition needs volunteers to help sort the coats at the Clinky Cleaners. To volunteer, you can call the number there at the bottom of your screen.
A group of fourth grade girls at Roosevelt Elementary School in Janesville are combining two of their favorite things, art and animals, to help furry friends in need. Today, the girls presented a check for $2,000 to the Humane Society of Southern Wisconsin in front of their classmates. They raised the money through donations and selling their artwork at local farmers markets over the summer.
It was a little intimidating at first, talking to random people as they passed our booth and telling them about our mission of creating art and giving 100% of the sales and donations to the Humane Society. We became more confident as the summer went on, and by the end, we had no problem explaining our mission to the crowds at the market.
Congratulations, girls. They were inspired by the community service they did back in the 3rd grade.
The Wisconsin DOT will give nearly $8 million to companies to improve the state's freight railways. 5 projects will get Freight Railroad Preservation Program grants and Freight Railroad Infrastructure Improvement Program loans. One of the projects is to replace an old timber trestle structure in the Prairie subdivision near Boscobel. The state giving over $1.5 million to replace the timber trestle with one made of steel and concrete. The improvements will also lengthen the rail spur and accommodate a trail that can be used by pedestrians and bicyclists. Still ahead, there's a new island forming out in the Pacific, but it may not be there for long.
Plus, the fall season is here, and along with it, allergies. You can tell the difference between them and other sicknesses.
And is the fall-like weather here to stay? Gary's back. Complete look at your forecast when we return.
Stanton Optical is the best value in eye care. We did the math, people. For $79, you get all this. That costs over $400 at Lens Crafters, over $200 at Walmart, and over $150 at America's Best. When it comes to value, Stanton Optical is the top bird.
the house before you, over 30 years old, still has its original windows. It's bone chilling.
There's no need to be afraid of old windows. Just call Feldco for 50% off.
It's the biggest sale of the season. 50% off Feldco windows, plus no interest until 2024.
50% off windows ends soon. Call now.
For quality windows, siding, and doors, call 866 for Feldco.
While business landscapes can ebb and flow, Capital Bank remains a trusted resource offering unparalleled business expertise to our local movers and shakers. We help manage our customers' commercial banking needs, which in turn allows them to focus on their business goals. Our new location on Madison's east side will be our third in Dane County and is a direct result of our growth together. When you succeed, we succeed. Capital Bank, 15 minutes from anywhere in Dane County.
You protected our rights, preserved our freedom. You may have even risked your life for us. Now, it's our turn to fight for you. Your local Wisconsin emergency, energy, and housing assistance providers, and the Keep Wisconsin Warm Cool Fund reward the service of our veterans with rental and energy support in their time of crisis. Apply today to get the fresh start you've earned.
I worked on the force for 30 years. I've seen plenty of politicians, but Mandela, he's the real deal. Mandela doesn't want to defund the police. He's very supportive of law enforcement, and I know his objective is to make every community in the state of Wisconsin better. I trust him to get the resources that we need to keep people safe and to reduce crime in the first place. As a retired cop, I want someone like Mandela. Mandela is the right guy for the job.
I'm Mandela Barnes, and I approve this message.
At Stanton Optical, you get great value on eye care, including contacts. Right now, get a 1-year supply of AccuView Oasis and an eye exam for only $189. Scan now to book your eye exam. Yay, technology.
Welcome back. Every year in the U.S., as many as 60 million people suffer from symptoms of seasonal allergies.
Well, this time of year, ragweed and molds are typically out in full force, and it can wreak havoc on your health. Mandy Gaither has more on how to recognize when you're suffering from fall allergies and tips on how to deal with them.
It's officially fall. That means color-changing leaves, pumpkins, and apple picking, but also seasonal allergies.
Patients will think that they have colds, but the thing about these colds are they are every single year.
Dr. Sandra Hong, an allergist at Cleveland Clinic, says that's one way to know you're dealing with allergies. You can also tell by common symptoms, including a stuffy or runny nose, itchiness, watery eyes, and sneezing.
It happens for more than a couple weeks. It'll go on for seasons at a time.
Dealing with allergies may start with your pet, especially if they go outside.
If you are sleeping with them, you are basically sleeping with some weeds that are outdoors. So I usually ask my patients to keep the pets out of their bedroom, especially during their really big times of the year.
Hong says there are 3 ways to ease allergies, including over-the-counter treatments like nasal spray and antihistamines. An allergy shot can help, and Hong says you can also avoid what triggers symptoms.
Make sure their windows are closed and don't dry any clothing outside, and make sure that when they come in, they take a shower or they wash their hair if they can to get all of that pollen off of them.
If none of this works for you, Hong says go see an allergist because there are other therapies that can be used. I'm Mandy Gaither.
Dr. Hong says many people may not even realize they suffer from allergies, but she says being aware of them and taking action to help your symptoms can make you feel better. Well, let's now get a look at those fall temperatures. Here's Gary with a complete look at your forecast.
Well, Eric, tonight it'll be cold enough for the possibility for some frost north of Dane County. Dry weather is expected. 3 things to know pretty much for the rest of this week and almost all of next week. But with that dry weather, skies will be clear at night, and that will allow temperatures to fall off pretty rapidly. So I'm looking for lows, probably lower 40s here in Madison tonight, but in the lower 30s or the middle to upper 30s for Tuesday and Wednesday night. Cold enough for some frost, especially in low-lying areas and the farther north you go. High temperatures for both Tuesday and Wednesday will only be in the 50s, but skies will be sunny. You can enjoy that. That'll go right through the weekend and into the early part of next week. Frost advisories in effect for Juneau and Monroe counties and areas up to the north into parts of northwestern Wisconsin and central Minnesota. That from 2 a.m. until 9 a.m. tomorrow morning. Now, as we take a look at Hurricane Ian, this is a powerful storm. Right now, maximum sustained winds 100 miles an hour. Gusts to 120 miles per hour, located south of Cuba, moving to the north-northwest at 13 miles per hour. Forecast from the National Hurricane Center just kind of goes over the western portion of Cuba, so that doesn't weaken it very much. In fact, as it gets into the warmer waters of the Gulf of Mexico, it starts to increase in strength to a Category 4 hurricane with gusts to 160 miles per hour. Starts spreading rain into Florida, but watch what happens as Ian continues to move on to the north and eventually north-northeast. It heads toward the Tampa area, at least that's what most of the computer models are kind of clustering in either Tampa or just to the north of there, with powerful winds that could bring a strong and high storm surge to the west coast of Florida, including Tampa Bay. But then it slows down as it passes over Tampa, maintains a lot of strength, so the winds will be strong along the coast. But notice the rain continuing across much of the Florida peninsula, and then as the storm slowly moves up into Georgia and South Carolina, it brings that rain shield north with it. Hurricane warnings already in effect for the Tampa metro area, tropical storm warnings along the west coast of Florida and into the Keys, tropical storm watch for the east coast of Florida, hurricane watch for the central portion of Florida. But take a look at some of these rainfall totals. This is from the latest computer model forecast. 5 inches or more of rain down toward Fort Myers. This area north of Tampa, all the way up into central portions of Florida, may see as much as 10 inches of rain or more, and much of the state seeing about 3 to 5 inches or more of rain. Low temperatures this morning, around 50 here in Madison, but notice the cooler weather to the north and west. That's what will be coming in for the next couple of nights. Our forecast includes that frost advisory for Juneau County, 2 a.m. until 9 a.m. tomorrow morning. Planning your night, look for a low of 42 Middleton, 41 in Brooklyn, and 42 in Stoughton, with mostly clear skies overnight. Lows down to 39 at Baraboo, 36 in Camp Douglas. That's where the frost is a little more likely. 40 in Platteville and 42 degrees in Prairie du Chien. For tomorrow, though, we start out with sunshine in the morning, turn partly sunny in the afternoon. Still breezy and cool with a high of 56 degrees. 7 to 10 day forecast. Tuesday night and Wednesday night, low temperatures in the mid to upper 30s. Possibility for a little more widespread frost. Some morning fog also a possibility. But then the temperatures warm up into the upper 60s over the weekend. Notice dry weather with the exception of a slight chance of a shower on Tuesday of next week.
A new island has emerged in the southwest Pacific Ocean. Check out these new satellite pictures from NASA. A submerged volcano near the Central Tonga Islands erupted earlier this month, spewing lava, steam, and ash. The result, a new island that scientists say is growing pretty fast. NASA says don't get too attached, though. Even though new islands can stick around for years or decades, they usually don't last long. We'll be right back.
News 3 Now First Warn Weather is brought to you by Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor.
Discover a shopping and design experience as comfortable as the furniture. Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor. Schedule your free design consultation today.
How do you use your energy? Inspiring a spark of creativity? Working hard to reach your goals? Thinking outside the box to bring your vision to life? At Alliant Energy, we're creating more clean, renewable energy every single day to power what matters to you. Because even during the most powerful moments in our lives, we're not thinking about power, we're thinking about a brighter future. Alliant Energy, powering beyond.
Save on your next appliance upgrade with 11% off everything at Menards. Upgrade your home with top appliance brands including KitchenAid, Maytag, Whirlpool, Amana, and Criterion. All appliances are now 11% off. Enjoy softer skin and cleaner clothes with Morton's Demand Control Wi-Fi Water Softener. Integrated Wi-Fi capabilities allow you to monitor your salt and water levels anywhere, straight from your smartphone. Get 11% off all Morton products now at Menards.
Save big money at Menards.
You heard the Jingle Man, Wisconsin. That means it's time to get a versatile, rugged, athletic SUV that makes you feel like you just won a title. Again. Honda was just crowned KBB.com's best value brand for the 7th year in a row. So get up and go to your Wisconsin Heartland Honda dealer today. Honda gets Wisconsin. Bring it home, Songbird.
Get up and go!
Joe Biden on Medicare for All.
It's going to raise taxes on middle-class people.
Medicare for All would double your income taxes, ban employer-provided and union health plans, and bankrupt Medicare for seniors. Mandela Barnes still supports Bernie Sanders' socialist takeover of your health care.
Medicare for All is the easiest way to get us to universal health care.
Mandela Barnes, more liberal than Joe Biden, way too liberal for Wisconsin.
I'm Ron Johnson, and I approve this message.
Keep bragging about your buck after the hunt with wild game processing from Johnson's Sausage Shop in Ryle, Wisconsin. Friends enjoy a hunting story more over a jalapeno cheddar stick. Johnson's Sausage Shop accepts wild game 7 days a week. First bucks in are the first brats out.
Cyclists pedal across the Midwest to support a mission that's saving lives.
Tomorrow, Josh Ryder is at the finish line to learn why they're urging all of us to be the match.
And will those windy conditions continue tomorrow? And when will we see that first frost? Tune in tomorrow from 4:30 to 7.
There's no way around it. Wisconsin's loss at Ohio State was ugly. The season, however, is not over, but the Badgers know they have to respond in a big way. And as sports director Zach Hanley found out, just like last year, Illinois is the perfect opponent to turn around a season.
Saturday night in Columbus was one to forget.
I'm just ready for this week, to just move on.
But in order to move on, they have to respond this week, starting in practice.
I want to see our best ball, hands down, every position. And I'm going to push that all week. Like, how can we do something different during the week to just get better? I want to see a complete Wisconsin Badgers football game, and that's what that's the standard I'm setting.
4 games into their season, and Wisconsin is off to a slow start. But they've been here before and turned it around. Last season, they were actually in a worse situation, and then they played Illinois. The Badgers shut out the Illini, which started a 7-game win streak, and this group plans to repeat that history on Saturday.
I think it can put confidence in guys knowing that, regardless of your record, you hold the keys to your success is kind of how I view it. So, guys understand that it's still a lot of games left in the season and, a lot of stuff at stake.
Everybody writing us off already, and it's only the 4th game. There's a lot of football to be played, but, in a couple weeks, keep that same energy. You know what I'm saying? Keep that same energy when we're winning games.
I mean, we're 2-2. We got 8 more regular season games. It's not the end of the world. I mean, we can still finish out a 10-2 football team, and I mean, that's what I'm hitting the guys on. It's like, we still control our destiny.
And it starts with getting back to work to play their brand of football. At the McLean Center, Zach Hanley, News 3 Sports.
The Badgers and Illini kick off at 11 o'clock this Saturday in Brett Bielema's return to Madison. Zach and Jim Polzin will have much more on the game, Bielema, and what happened at Ohio State on this week's Badger Blueprint Wednesday at 10. And here's Gary with a final check of the forecast.
Well, skies are partly cloudy out there. Let's take a look at the live view from the WISC Skycam. Starting to see those clouds break up, and even Platteville Queen Bee Radio Skycam now almost mostly clear. Temperatures will drop off. There's a frost advisory for Juneau County from 2 a.m. until 9 a.m. tomorrow morning. Current temperatures 57 in Madison, still 62 in Lone Rock, but across Dane County, those temperatures already starting to fall down to 57 in Waunakee and 55 in Belleville.
Okay. Thank you very much, Gary. And thank you for joining us tonight. Have a great evening, and we'll see you back here at 10.